So I'm back, and the first couple of days of the month, there was no electricity. All right. This video, I titled it, I'm broke. I guess this is a message to my older self because I really don't identify with it. I feel like I'm going backwards if I continue to have that mindset, but to anyone that's watching this and is probably in the same situation, right? People might say money causes problems. More money, more problems. Trust me, bro. I understand in some circumstances the way you were raised or what happens around you is not your fault. To an extent, I believe in that. But what are you doing about it? If you're old enough, 18 or more, right? If you got your own place maybe, or if you're capable of doing things about it, why aren't you doing anything about it? I have this behavior where I self-loathe or, I sort of self-judge myself. I'm overcritical. If you're broke, do fucking something about it. I remember one of those days I was so furious at myself because of my living situation. Sometimes for some of us to get here, to even get to a specific goal that we need, sometimes we need to get to the worst place of our life. Why do we always wait for the worst thing to happen before I need to actually chase my dreams. I need to work harder. Why do we need to wait for a family member to get sick? Why do we need to wait for the worst shit to happen before we actually wake up and do something about it? Don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. Look, I understand that it might seem that money can't come overnight, but weird shit happens, right? Things do happen, especially if you've put in the prior work before to get here. You tell me, which life is better? A life where you can do what you want, anytime you want, be wherever you want, and do whatever you want. Your family's straight, you straight. Or the life where you're struggling and you have to keep asking people for money, complaining, why is my life so shitty? Why does money keep escaping me? Trust me, bro. I would rather have a life of freedom than a life of poverty. Poverty up here than poverty all around me. I feed off what I am, Don't do what I did, right? Yes, I might be overcritical. Yes, maybe it might be other people's fault, Like I was told that maybe it's, I guess, my family's fault because they're not providing for us, but I'm old enough to also provide. But at the same time, I guess I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself because the life I'm situated in, every time I make money, I have to patch up my family's mistakes. And that's also another thing that frustrated me that day. Broken ceilings, no food in the kitchen, gas is empty, lights are off, broken walls, right? Homeless in a home, bro, right? I'm grateful that I still have my home. I'm grateful that I still have the things, a comfortable bed, right? The cell phone, which wasn't working that day, right? I was so frustrated. I'm grateful for everything that I do have. I know there's someone that has less than me. And that's just the way life is. There's always somebody that has more than what you have. But it doesn't mean that just because they have it, you can't get it too. I kept trying to hammer that idea into my head, telling myself that it's possible for me to also achieve the life that I want. So what's stopping you? What's stopping you? You can get that life that you want. It's not all about money, but at the end of the day, money is what we need most of the time. And not need from a place of scarcity, but need just from a place of the need of freedom, right? It's pretty much the same thing, I know, but Most of us, we just need it just to get by, just to make life a little easier to live. Better than eating scraps and shit. You know, God bless the souls of those that are living that life. You know, I'm not shaming them, right? I know that there's people that are living less than I was at the time. Even currently right now. So first off, be grateful. Be grateful for where you're at. You could have it worse. You really could have it worse. That's the first thing. Second thing, similar to the other video, get to fucking work. There's nothing else you have to do but get to fucking work. Would you rather this or being broke? Would you rather that than getting broke? Right? And while you're at it, change your mindset. Stop thinking from the state of I'm broke, I'm this, I'm that. Change that story, bro. It's done. You don't need that story. That's not you no more. Yes, you lived in it. You embraced. You were surrounded by the shit. But there's beauty in the struggle. I'm not going to lie. I obviously ended off my night scribbling in the dark. And I figured out that there's beauty in the struggle. You ever see the power or that frustration that we usually have after or in the process of having that? Use that energy. Use that specific energy and use that as your fuel to get better. Use your situation as fuel. Don't you also want to have the fancy ass steak? Don't you also want to live a life where you're free? Besides the fancy ass steak, I'm just saying, living a life where you can do whatever you want, right? I'm not talking living like some fucking scammer or whatever, but I'm just saying living a life to your liking. And it doesn't have to do with money. But what gets you everywhere? What gets you to wear those clothes on your body? That phone that you have, watching me or anybody else. You need money to get those things. So, the choice is yours. It's either or, literally. You either complain and stay the same, or you get prepared and change your life. You know? I always wonder if people have experienced what I've experienced, but I definitely know that there's people out there who are living exactly what I'm living, or even worse. I understand that it's tough. It's a 3-step process. The first two happens here. The first two steps is you first. You gotta know, you gotta set the intention that this is the life that I want. Change your mindset. I keep saying that because it's true. I told you March I was focused on that. April I'm solidifying. April I have to like, okay, cool. I said what I said. I did the mental rehearsals, the reframing of my mind, changing that old story, healing where I need to heal. April, we're getting that shit locked onto my head, into my subconscious. Make sure that that shit's my story. When I wake up in the morning, I am that nigga. You know, you are that person too. Say that. Embrace who you are. So, at the end of the day, I can only say what I can say. I can only tell you my experiences and how frustrated I was that day. How, like, I felt stuck. Because we've been through the situation in the 4 years I've been home, multiple times, asking people for money, doing this, doing that. Don't live the life I can. I know half the time it's totally out of our control, you know, totally, really. But do what you can to make sure you don't get here. And if you are here, trust me, you can get out of here. I'm living proof. And I want to set an example that if I can, you can too. If you're living in a shitty situation, I know you can get out of this. On God, I know. All right? I love you guys. It's good to be back. More videos coming out soon. Appreciate every single one of you. Stay tuned for more. Peace.